Hey guys, Tarke here, and today I just want to quickly talk about making currency in Path of Exile, how this league in particular, I've made my currency in the last few days of mapping, because I've gotten a lot of questions of Tarke, why do you suddenly have so much currency, when you're usually someone who never has that much raw liquid. So this is just a random still from a start of a stream that was recorded, as you can see here, exactly 3 days ago. So 3 days ago, on the first proper day of mapping of the character I am currently playing, you can see I have 38 chaos and a bunch of random currency, not adding up to all of that much. There's some fuses, there's some jewelers. Where am I at now after 3 days of just actually playing the game rather efficiently? So I currently am at level 95. And I have 12 exalts raw liquid and 500 chaos raw liquid. Lots more random currency. You can see I've got, over 1,000 jewelers, 200 views. A pretty decked out character with pretty much a bisc gear at this point. 6-link lion eyes. We've got some pretty tasty resist boots, so on and so forth. Corrupted bow with additional arrow, corrupted quiver additional arrow. And I have a second character completely bought out with the correct enchants, the correct corruptions, jewels, gems, etc, etc, and I've even started just randomly buying items because I can just see the market going in a certain way. So how do you start this process? If you have absolutely no currency whatsoever, then you need to start with a little thing called beachhead. Now if you have you've just hit end game, you've gone through the whole process, you'll have collected at least 20 chaos orbs if you've just been picking up loot, selling the odd item here and there. If not, it won't take you long to farm up to 20 chaos orbs. That is all it takes to join a beachhead rota, because that is the current cost of a beachhead map in hardcore. You buy it and you join a rota. If you don't know what rota is, you get 6 people, they all have one map, you run all 6 maps, you'll make your money back just from doing that, a little bit extra, and your character gets some early XP to get you ready for the mapping process. So keep doing this until you can afford a Biscos. You then equip Biscos. You are now good at the game. You get your calculators out, you play around with calculators, start pressing in buttons on quantity, you equip a Biscos. People who tell me that Biscos isn't worth running, why would I spend 150 chaos to buy an item just for mapping? That is an exact YouTube comment, by the way. You do it because that's how you play the game and that's how you get your currency returns. If you can't afford a Biscos, if Biscos doesn't work for your particular build, you can just play the game and still make money, but my point being is don't complain about having no money this league and not using the most broken item in the game for making raw currency. So, you've done your beachheads, you want to start actually mapping. What would I recommend? Just do the maps you enjoy doing, and again, play the game. Don't watch random YouTube videos telling you how to make currency, just play the game. Right now, play the game. There's this often thing that you see with a lot of players who often complain about not having any currency, is they're doing lots of re-rolling. I am someone who's very guilty of this myself. I can quite happily spend the first month of League just chain re-rolling characters, never having more than 100C liquid at a time. I started this league basically a month late because I was very busy with IRL stuff, and rapidly re-rolled a few characters in the sort of mid-80s. I then played until 96 on one character. Surprisingly, I had a lot of currency because I didn't swap around on characters that much. That character then ripped, I then reinvested it into multiple different characters, went back to having none, as you saw from the 3 days ago. So once you start actually mapping, you're doing things you want to do, you can then think about, well, how can I actually maximize my profits? What's worth pursuing? So me and my friend Kane, we like to duo map together, and I'm going to show you some background stuff of that. And it's just a case of we run breaches on our maps, we sextants our maps, and we just blitz sort of through them. Now, we worked out pretty early on that for us, we don't really like killing bosses because we personally don't think bosses are worth killing. A lot of people sabotage their builds to do single target damage. By that, they play a skill which hasn't got good single target, and then they obsess over, oh my god, how do I get all this good single target? What we do is we get just enough damage to clear maps reliably, and then just invest in movement speed and defense because we're hardcore. If it was softcore, we just get enough to clear it reliably and then just go full movement speed. But anyway, so we often do a support character and then a DPS character. So currently you can see that Kane here is playing a support. So I said, well, I'm going to turn my bow build and equip a Quill Rain, even though that nerfs my damage by 40%, because it makes me map faster because of the attack speed. Then specced out all my DPS nodes, went full movement speed, respect into crate, did silly shenanigans with Mom, and I'm rocking 7k effective HP, and we just map really quickly, and we just never kill any bosses, because That's not what we designed to do, and we get more raw currency doing this. You then say, but Tarke, that sounds really boring. I like having variety in my gameplay. Why would anyone want to just run the same map over and over and over and over again? You don't have to. You can mix it up a lot and still make decent returns. I'm not a very rich player. What I'm just showing is like through 3 days of actually playing the game, I can now fund basically any build I want. And that's come from kind of going, today we're going to do this for X many hours. So over those 3 days, you're saying, but you're a streamer, Tarke. Like 3 days for a streamer, that's like a month of game time for me. I would say realistically, we do probably about 6 hours of actual solid mapping a day. We have a lot of downtime because it's 2 people, lots of little breaks as the other. So basically those 3 days, even if you to be very generous, round up, let's just say that's 24 hours of actual gameplay. So in 24 hours of actual gameplay, if you sort of know what you're doing, you can make some actual currency. And it's not even like it's loads of currency for 24 hours. So getting back to but what about the same map every time? We like to mix up a lot. So one thing that we do is we spent a very long time just farming springs because we liked the tile set. We were just doing springs with breaches. We kind of got frustrated with, breaches aren't actually that good in springs. There are a few places where you get a dead breach. That's where half the breach spawns into like a wall example. You get that a lot near the boss room. But, we were having fun. It's a nice tile set. We're getting a lot of 6 sockets, and that's a big thing. Each 6 socket in hardcore, if you just convert your Dews to Fuse to Chaos, is worth roughly 2 Chaos Orbs. Before you tell me, but Tarke, I can't make money farming Breach. Breach costs 6 Chaos. If you roll Breach on all of your maps, you'll get at least 3 6 sockets guaranteed. You'll always make your initial costs back. Anyway, so we did springs for a while. We then got a bit bored of this and thought, let's mix it up. Let's see what's expensive at the moment. We saw that comb cards were expensive. We then went and farmed Abyss. So we farmed Abyss for a while. We got a couple of combs cards, sold those, had some fun. We had a steel ring drop. We saw steel rings weren't really worth much. And we didn't really like the layout of Abyss, so we then thought, what's something else we could do? We then started farming Spider Forest. Now, while we were farming Spider Forest, we did get very lucky, and we did get some Doctor cards drop. How you need to take into account that me and Kane split all of the big returns. So for all the time that we did that, it would actually be the equivalent of only getting like 1 Doctor card drop for me personally. And the money you saw me with was after I'd already invested in completely decking out 2 full characters. That's something you need to keep in mind. So I actually had way more currency than that over the 3 days. Just that's what happened after all this excessive spending I've done. So we do that for a while. We have fun. Kane starts buying up Doc's cards himself because he's saving up for a headhunter. He's currently on 5 out of 8. And then we thought, you know what? Let's just do something different. I want to pause here real quick and go back. Just 1 second. So while we were doing that, we thought, let's just do something a little bit different. This is getting a little bit boring. Let's try Vault. So we saw the Exalted prices were going up rapidly in hardcore. They're doing the same in softcore. So we thought, let's try something different. Now, this is... we started farming Vault in the last 2 hours of the stream. So this is after about an hour of Vault. You can see that I've gotten 19 Chaos Liquid, we've gotten a bunch of Jewelers, we've got 1 completed Hoarder set, that is 1 Exalted Orb, and 4 out of 5 Abandoned Wealths, which is 3 Exalted Orbs. Out of our combined 2.5 hour session, between the 2 of us, we had just shy of 9 Exalted Orbs total in completed sets. Sort of let that sink in, but you can say, but that's just you being really lucky, running quantity and doing... Variance is variance is variance. Just find something, do it for a while, mix it up, just play the game, spend less time complaining on Reddit that you don't know how to make currency, spend less time in the YouTube comments. If you don't know how to make currency, stop watching videos like this and actually play the game would be my one final tongue-in-cheek suggestion. Anyway, I'm Tarke. I'm going to go play the game now. Have a good day. Bye-bye.